What's going on, my little bundle of chestnuts? It's your girl, Kate Winchester here, and I'm still pregnant, thank God. Okay, so, this is just like a quick little announcement and, why you should listen to a woman when they say that this is not normal and she needs to go to the hospital. So, um, basically, last night there was leaking of of the baby's sack. And I got really scared. So because of that, I went to the hospital. I took a lot of convincing of my fiance because he didn't believe that, he didn't want to believe that something was amiss, I was like, hey, I'm scared. I think this isn't normal. This has never happened before. I need to go to the hospital. I'm scared. What if I'm having another miscarriage, And he was like, you're fine. And then my dad was saying I was fine. My brother was saying I was fine. But I still went upstairs to my stepmom. And she got freaked out. Like, as soon as I told her I was leaking, she turned as white as a sheet. And, like, it wasn't... Yeah, when I looked at my underwear, it wasn't, like... It was as big as, like, a quarter. But I was still leaking. And then by the time I looked again, it was, like... It got my underwear wet. And I was scared. Like, I was so fucking scared, man. Like, I'm sobbing. I'm having an anxiety attack, And my stepmom was at work, and I had to go to her room while she's working. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I think I need to go to the hospital. Like, I'm leaking, blah, blah, blah. She turned as white as a sheet. She's like, let me get a hold of my boss. And we called the doctor that I go to. We called the after hours, and she told me that since she can't examine me, she would recommend going to the ER because she is worried about the sac in the baby, like the baby sac being popped, and I'm currently leaking the sac and I'm having a miscarriage. That's what she told me she was worried about. So to go to the ER and double check because she can't do it herself because she was over the phone. And so my stepmom freaks out. She clocks out without even waiting for her boss to get there. She clocks out. She goes downstairs and yells at everyone. She's like, do you have any idea what her fucking doctor just told her? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm sobbing. And I am so scared that I'm about to lose my baby. And walking in here with this crib that I set up was really hard because I was like, what if I don't get to have a baby that lays in there? Like, what if my child never gets to use it, So I just laid next to it and cried for like until my stepmom came to get me and tell me that it's okay, but we gotta go. I just sat next to it and sobbed. Like, I was so scared of, like, what if I don't get to use it? Like, I'm so excited for this baby, and I'm so scared of losing it, and, like, I've already fallen in love with this baby, and, like, I love it so much. And I'm so scared of... Anyway, so we get to the hospital. I still have to wait in the waiting room, which kind of pissed me off a little bit. I was like, I might be having a miscarriage. Why am I waiting? Like, But that was just like being scared and angry. Please don't come for me in the comments like, why are you so selfish? Blah, 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 blah. I was scared, okay? Like, I would understand if all I did was like break my arm. Or if I passed out and I'm in the hospital to get checked out, but I think it's because I said the words, I think I'm having a miscarriage, that they were like, oh, okay, she's probably fine, she can wait. But at the same time, it pisses me off because, like, what if I wasn't fine? Like, what if my baby was, like, dying and you had the chance to save it, but you made me wait, and then in the course of the wait, the baby did die, Like, it wouldn't be their fault, but at the same time, it would make it a lot more heartbreaking and just more hard to deal with and come home and tell my fiance that his baby's dead. So, anyway, I get to the room, finally, and they put me in a gown, And this lady comes in and just looks at my vagina. She doesn't look at the inside. She just looks at my vagina and says, "You're probably fine, but we will still get you checked out. We're gonna get an IV in you and run some fluids." You know, oh, hang on, I gotta charge my phone. You know, she was like, we're gonna run an IV line and take some blood, figure, maybe see if there's something in your blood. But, and then we're gonna do an ultrasound and take some urine and figure out what's going on, okay? And I was like, okay. And I hate needles, but at this point, I didn't even care. I was like, please, just tell me that my baby is okay. Like, please just tell me that my baby's okay. And she's like, okay, hon, it's gonna be fine, honey. It's gonna be fine, just breathe. And I'm like, and she's a mom too, like, she told me I was like, I'm just scared. She's like, I know, hun, I know, I got 4. I understand how scary this is. And I was like, I don't even care what you guys do to me, I just want my baby to be okay. She's like, I know, honey, I know, it'll be fine, you're fine, just breathe. And I'm like, okay. She was so nice to me. Like, all the other doctors were like annoyed and just kind of rolled their eyes every time I asked a question. And she was just like, she was just there. Like, she was just so nice. So shout out to that nurse. I really wish I could say her name. But, and then I felt like I told her, I was like, you know, she was waiting for me because she was going to help calm me down while they got my, IV, because I told her, I was like, I do have anxiety when it comes to needles, and she's like, I'll sit in here with you anyway, since, you know, I gotta ask you questions anyway. And I was like, alright. So I was telling her, I was like, I feel like I'm not a good mom. And she's like, hun, you're a mess right now. You haven't stopped crying since you walked into the hospital. You are telling me that you don't care what we do to you as long as your baby is healthy. You are a really good mom. And just hearing that, like, fuck, I'm hormonal and sick, and like, anyway, so my fiance called, and I answered the phone, and I was like, I'm about to get an IV, and he hates needles, so he passed me off to my stepmom. And we just started talking about, like, we just had a story. Like, I tell stories whenever I'm getting my blood drawn or getting an IV or whatever, because I get really nervous. And, so anyway, they stick it in. I scream because it hurts. I hate getting IVs so much because then when I move my arm, it pokes me and they hurt. I have to keep my arm still like this for a minute. And then it hurts because my arm starts cramping up, so then I have to move it, but that just hurts too. Like, ugh, I hate IVs. But I didn't care because I was seeing if my baby was healthy. I was seeing if my baby was okay. So next thing they do is they take me to the ultrasound. And they don't tell me. I think the scariest part about getting this ultrasound is the fact that I can't look and see my baby playing. I can't see my baby being happy and healthy. I have to sit there while this other woman looks at my baby, and she has the heart monitor thing off. I can't hear the baby's heartbeat. I'm sitting there just thinking and like just wondering, and my anxiety is running away with me. My anxiety is like, what if it's dead? You know, like my anxiety is like, you know, what if I just lost my baby and they can't tell me because they have to wait for the doctor and they're not the doctor. She can't tell me. Like, she's even told me, she's like, I can't let you see, I can't let you hear. You're just gonna have to lay there while I do my thing. You can talk to distract yourself, whatever, but I can't tell you what's going on. You know, she's like, I can't tell you what goes on. I am not the doctor. I am only the technician. My job is to look and take pictures, and then we wheel you back to your room and I send the report to the doctor. And then the doctor comes and tells you what goes on. So you're just gonna have to wait. I know this is scary. I got 2, you know, like my doctors. I like how a lot of my doctors were understanding because they are parents, and they were like, I understand how scary this is, but we're just doing our job. And I'm like, no, I get it, I'm sorry, like, I'm just scared. And they're like, no, believe me, it's the same thing with us, and we have kids. Like, So I just think it's really like an eye-opening experience to have doctors that have kids, and they understand, and like they know how scared you are, and they understand that you just want your baby to be healthy, but they're just doing their jobs, and they really want to tell you that everything is fine, and they can't. And I honestly think that that's very eye-opening, because a lot of parents are like, what's taking so long, blah, 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 not even understanding that they have kids or what they go through with their kids. I don't know, I still want to be a doctor. I'm still going to be going into school and stuff when I have kids. I'm still going to school and stuff. So I will be a surgeon when I have kids. So I would be able to reason with the parents that come in for their kids. But anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. Happens to me a lot, especially when I decide on the fly to make a video about what happened to me last night. But so it's fucking 1 a.m. when I get there. By the time I'm getting this ultrasound, it's 3 a.m. So this doctor, she's talking with me. We're making small talk about her kids, and she's trying to distract me, I can tell, because I'm breathing heavy, I'm breathing shallow, I'm having an anxiety attack in this bed that they're doing the ultrasound on. I am having a full-blown panic attack, but I'm trying to be quiet and discreet about it so she can do her job, And she's over here just like, how many kids do you want? And I'm like, I don't know. I think probably maybe 3 or 4, we're just making small talk, And she's like, well, what did you want the gender reveal theme to be? And I told her, and I'm not going to tell you guys because that's a surprise. But, she's like, well, what gender do you want? Do you want to be surprised with everybody else, or do you want to know? And, do you know the gender? And I said, no, I just want to be surprised with everybody else. I just say him or he because everybody else does, and they all think it's a boy, and they all want it to be a boy, so they're all saying he and him, using boy pronouns. And she's like, well, it's gonna suck if it's a girl and y'all were using y'all were using boy pronouns this whole time. But I don't know, she was cool. But finally the ultrasound ends and I get to go back to my room again, and I'm in the dark about what's going on with my baby. I don't know if my baby's alive, I don't know if my baby's healthy, I don't know if my baby is okay. And the tricky part that I can't reassure myself on, oh, they're making small talk, so everything's probably fine, or this happened, so it's probably fine, right? But the thing is, even if it's bad news, they still make small talk to distract you. So they would have made small talk either way. They would have tried to distract me either way. And as somebody that passed a CNA class, I already know. I know what goes on, why, even if it's bad, they make you feel better. It's because it's their job to make you feel better. It's their job to make you feel more comfortable. It's not to give you false hope. It's not to, that's why when you say, am I going to be okay? They don't say, oh yeah, you'll be fine, or I promise you'll be okay. They never promise. They never say you'll be okay. It's always, we'll see, or we'll find out. Not to scare you, but not to say, oh, you're going to be fine. And then what happens if you're not? So that's just something that I thought I should tell you, so that if you do go to the doctor, for whatever reason, you know why they do that now, So I'm over here freaking out. I'm like, I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. I don't know if it's average. I don't know. And then finally, my doctor comes in. I'm on the phone with my fiance. I'm a blubbering mess. I am freaking out, and he's trying to be like the man, the dad, everything's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. I'm scared too, but everything's gonna be fine. He's trying to calm me down, but he's actually just as scared as I am, and it's it's not fun at all. And so finally my doctor comes in, and he's like, okay, so I'm just waiting on the report from the technician, but and we're waiting on the report of your blood. So what I am going to tell you is to just breathe, here's some water, You know, he was really nice. Like, he asked me what happened and what's going on. And I have to repeat my story now. I had to repeat my story to like 3 people, and it's so hard, especially when you're crying about what is going on, and then you have to relive it, and then remember that you don't know anything yet, and you're not going to know for a little bit. Like, so I'm trying to repeat my story to him, but I sound like this, and I'm leaking everywhere. And he was like, okay, calm down. Like, I'm trying to explain it to him, but I can't because I'm scared, I'm stressed. So, my fiance is trying to calm me down. He's like, breathe, calm down, you're fine. So, I told him what happened, and then he was like, okay. Well, there wasn't any cramping, there wasn't any bleeding. I said, no, it was just clear stuff, and he was like, okay. So, that's a good sign that there's no cramping or no bleeding. I'm not going to tell you anything because I don't know personally yet, but from what you're telling me, it's a really good sign that the baby is still okay, that everything's okay. Maybe it was just a fluke, you know, because sometimes babies do weird things, okay? So you're probably fine, but it's really good that you came in here. He was using a really calm voice, you know, and trying to speak to me like professionally, but also in a way to calm me down, and I really appreciated that. So he leaves, and then he comes back like 30 minutes later, and he gives me my report, just so that the haters don't think I'm lying about any of this. I have the report right here. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Please follow up with OBGYN. Recommend repeat exam with OBGYN at MomDoc. During your next appointment at MomDoc, recommend you bringing your results with you. I'm on bed rest now, by the way. I'm trying to find the report on the ultrasound. Final report. Findings. There is a single gestation with a mean of 13 weeks and 4 days, plus or minus 1 week based on crown or rump length. The yolk sac is visualized and is round and regular, so that's a really good sign. Fetal cardiac activity is measured at 147 beats per minute, which is actually, it's only supposed to be 120. But the fact that so this is actually a really good sign, you know, that the heartbeat's perfect. The right ovary measures 4.3 times 2.7 times 2.8 centimeters. The left ovary measures blah, 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 blah. Both ovaries are normal into echo architecture and demonstrate appropriate flow with duplex Doppler imaging. Single living. Okay, so basically, it's telling me that the baby's fine. You know, baby's fine, healthy, happy. So, they told me that the baby was okay. Blood came back great. You know, there's nothing wrong with my blood. But he told me, he's like, I'm going to recommend bed rest. I'm going to put you on bed rest because from the looks of your blood, you are dehydrated, and from the look of your blood pressure was elevated. So, basically, I have to stay on bed rest for about a week, and for about, and then throughout the rest of my pregnancy, if I am doing something and I get dizzy or lightheaded, or I just feel like I'm gonna pass out, or I get tired, I have to go upstairs and lay down for the rest of the day because of how stressed out I was, because of how much stress I was putting under myself. Like, I was putting myself under so much stress because, and not even realizing it, but like the way I try to, you know, get my fiance to spend time with me, the more I try to the more I try to get my fiance to spend some time with me, the more I try to figure out what's going on in the situation, the more I try to figure out who doesn't like who in my friend group, and trying to figure out how to get them to stop fighting, you know, and just being myself as a person. I have to quit. I have to quit being my normal, caring, empathetic self, because it is actually stressing me out. You know, so I told all of my friends, I'm like, I don't care who's in a fight with who. I don't care who doesn't like who anymore. And I love you all, but I don't care about your problems right now. I need you to leave me alone with all of that, because tonight was really scary. I thought I lost my baby because of all of the stress that I'm under. I have to lay in bed for a week. I have to, you know, I told them all of that. I was like, so please don't come to me with your problems anymore. Please don't come to me with your fights anymore, please, because I need to focus on myself and my baby and my fiance. I need to focus on getting married next year. I need to make invitations. I need to do all of that stuff. And I need to get ready for baby stuff. All I have so far is a car seat, a bassinet, and a stroller, and blankets, and a swaddle. I need a lot more than that. So I need to focus on that. You guys can still be my friends if you want, but, and this was all I said in a long ass text message, y'all need to quit, okay? Like, and this is for those of you that I didn't tell, you know. It's like, you know, I'm not mad at all. I'm just being firm because I'm being serious. I need to focus on me. You know, it's not that I don't love you guys. It's not that you guys aren't my friends anymore, because you are. I need you guys to be there for me as my friend, and not focused on how can I help you. I'm your friend, not a secretary. So they all messaged me back, oh my god, we're so sorry, we love you, I hope everything's okay, like blah 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 blah. There was only one friend out of all of those people that actually was empathetic towards me and was like, oh, are you okay? Like, text me how everything goes, blah, 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 blah. Let me know when you get home safe, you know, and just being my friend. And this girl wasn't trying to include me in any of her problems. I was just trying to tell her what was going on. And she was the only one that texted me the entire night and did not go to bed until I did. And I even told her she didn't have to. She was just like, no, I have to. You're my best friend. So shout out to that girl. You know who you are. I love you so much. But yeah, this is just kind of like an announcement video, because I told y'all that you guys would be here for the journey if you guys wanted to. So thank you so much for being here for my journey, and I just wanted to let you know that I am still pregnant and everything's fine. I'm so tired because of all of the crying that I did last night, and I did not get home until 5. And I was starving, so I had Jack in the Box and then put the rest in the fridge and then went upstairs and went to bed with my fiance. But basically, I'm going to be spending a week upstairs, so yay. Anyways, I love you guys. I'll see you on the next video. Stay body positive. Kate Winchester out. Australia, bye-bye. And God bless your nutty little hearts, and don't forget to go nuts.